the heck do you do for breakfast? And if you want, while we're doing this video, please feel free to put all your questions in the comment section, and we'll do a little Q&A at the end of this. So if you have questions relating to the recipe or just other paleo stuff, feel free to ask, and I'll be happy to help answer those questions. So back to breakfast. I think one of the biggest issues that we have is that we don't have time in the morning to cook ourselves a good breakfast. So in turn we say, well, I know that smoothies and granola and bagels and cereal is all off the table, so I'm just gonna have nothing. I'm just gonna have a black coffee and I'm gonna keep going, and I'll make it till lunch. That's really a rough way to start off the day. And grains and all that stuff to start your day off is because it's gonna spike your cortisol levels, it's gonna throw your balance off for the rest of the day. Not eating essentially puts your body in a state of shock as well as a bunch of sugar would. So it's really not how you want to start off the day. The best way is with a good amount of protein and a good amount of fat. And that's what we're gonna do today. So what I have here is some leftovers. Taken on their own, they would probably not be enough for a meal, which is why you normally end up kind of tossing them. I say save them. We have some roasted carrots, just real simple salt and pepper left over from dinner the night before. Little sauteed spinach and mushrooms, again, just leftovers. This is all less than a cup each, but 2 or 3 things combined, along with some braised fennel, nice black pepper, braised fennel, and then some of our bacon. So we have some bacon lardons. I'm gonna chop this up a little bit more. You can get our bacon at Paleo.com. It's sugar-free, but any sugar-free pasture-raised bacon is gonna be great for you to use here. I'm just gonna kind of chop this up a little bit. So what we're doing today is we're making paleo muffins, paleo breakfast muffins. And it's essentially all of your leftover roasted veggies, some protein of some sort. It could be chicken sausage, can be bacon, can be steak, can be confit turkey, can be literally anything that you have left over. We're just gonna put it all in to a big mixture of eggs, put that into some muffin tins and bake it off. And what you're gonna be left with is these beautiful egg muffins that you're able to run out the door with first thing in the morning. Takes 10 seconds to warm them up in the microwave, and you've got yourself a good, healthy breakfast first thing in the morning. No mess, no fuss. This is something that'll take you 15 minutes to do on Sunday afternoon, and they will last in the fridge for the rest of the week. When my wife was pregnant, these became almost like a matter of survival. When she woke up, she had to eat something right away, and it had to have some protein and fat in it, or my life was in danger. And so these became crucial, not just for us sticking to paleo, but also for my safety during the pregnancy. So again, like no matter what your situation is, whether you got a ton of kids at the house, you got a pregnant wife at the house, you live by yourself and don't take the time to make breakfast in the morning, these things are perfect for you if you're doing paleo. So I'm just gonna chop up some of the bacon. Biggest thing, anytime you're doing anything that's gonna be eaten by hand, so these muffins are gonna be eaten by hand, is you wanna make sure that everything is small enough to fit into one bite size. Nothing makes me more irritated than going to a restaurant and you get like a soup, and in the soup are these big hunks of vegetables or big hunks of meat that are bigger than the spoon. Like, you didn't give me a knife with this, so I need to have it be handheld. It needs to be small enough. So the same thing here with the bacon. Just make sure it's nice and chopped up and small so that it gets cooked through. Now you can do this fresh. You can cook the veggies and everything just for the eggs. But I find that if you, sorry, we're at our house and that's our dog. I find that if you just wait, from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're gonna have enough leftovers come Sunday afternoon to make this without having to do separate prep for it. So we have the carrots, the bacon, mushrooms, spinach, and fennel. So you can see total, we're gonna get about 8 to 12 muffins out of this, depending on how big. You're looking at a total of about 3 cups worth of ingredients, not including the eggs. Just go ahead and put that in there. I'm gonna grab a separate bowl to whip up the eggs. And the only other thing that I'm gonna add to this, other than what's already here, is some fresh garlic. I really like the taste of roasted garlic and eggs. I think it's kind of a perfect addition. We're gonna use 10 eggs today, so we'll just use 2 cloves of garlic is plenty. A lot of people, when they break down garlic, they do a couple things. One, they spend all their time individually peeling the cloves. That's a waste of time. Take the side of the knife, one good whack, or two, and then you'll see it falls right out of the shell. So now you have perfectly peeled garlic in no time. The other thing that people do is they end up with pieces that are too big. When you really want like minced garlic, they end up with kind of rough chopped garlic. The key to that is you do 2 passes through the clove of garlic, but you do it with the back of the knife, the dull side of the knife. So I can't stress, obviously, when you do this, you do not want to put your fingers down on the sharp side. But with using the dull side of the knife, you're going to go through and break up the garlic like that. You can see how it already looks almost minced. Then do it again on the back side of the knife. For 2 cloves, you flip it over back to the sharp side of the knife. Add just a pinch of salt at this point. The salt is going to start breaking down the cells even more than your knife blade is, and is really going to pull the moisture out. So you can see in just a couple passes you've got something much more closer to garlic paste. And the garlic paste that you buy in the store is that's not food. This is food, and it's way easier. So there you go. So there's minced garlic, a couple cloves. Toss right in with the veggies. Clean up my knife. Go ahead and do the eggs. I worked an egg station for a long time, so I can do both hands, but you can do one hand is fine. The biggest thing that people do when they crack eggs, this seems like a really silly thing, but I should mention it. A lot of times they'll crack it on the edge of a ramekin or like the edge of a pan. You really actually crack the eggs on a flat surface. A flat surface will give you the best crack to get the eggs out of there. Now again, all of your vegetables are already seasoned and cooked, so you're just seasoning the eggs here. So you want to be really careful, get a little bit of shell out of there, not to over season. So just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Anytime you're using a whisk, you really want to focus on just using your wrist. Don't try to get your whole arm into it. You think that using these bigger muscles would actually be easier back here on your shoulder, but those aren't designed for fast twitch, kind of a long-term use, whereas your wrist muscle is. So just use your wrist. Right into the mixture. Fold this together. You see it's very much a hearty ratio of meat and vegetables to egg. We're not making an egg muffin with a tiny bit of, filling in it or some quiche that's really not that good at restaurant or buffet place. This is supposed to fill you up. This is supposed to be hearty and have quite a bit of stuff in it. So nice thick filling. Go ahead. I highly recommend you go on Amazon or go to your local kitchen store and get some of these silicone baking dishes. You can do this in a regular muffin tin and a metal one if you have it. Would definitely recommend rubbing the metal ones with bacon grease or olive oil before you go ahead and bake off the muffins, just because egg tends to stick. The silicone, these things, when I came out of culinary school, were like $100 each. I think now they're 10. So really, really worth just getting a couple of these to have around the house. Anytime that you're doing any baking or anything like that, it's going to be way easier with one of the silicone molds. So just a ladle. This is a 4-ounce ladle. Not even all of it's going to be used. So you want to leave just a little bit of space, but not a ton. So again, if you weren't yapping the whole time like I have been, you can see that this is something that'll take you less than 10 minutes to put together. You're putting it in the oven at 325 degrees for anywhere from 12 to 16 minutes, depending on how fast your oven cooks. That will change. What you're looking for is it's going to be nice and firm and golden brown on the outside, and if you put a knife or a toothpick into the center, it comes out clean. If it comes out wet, then obviously you've still got some egg to go, but it really shouldn't, like I said, be any more than 14 to 16 minutes at the absolute most. So there you go. You got a little mushroom. Will find its way over here. Go ahead and throw these into the oven. You're good to go. So there you go. Paleo breakfast muffins, really done really fast, and then you can have them in the fridge for the rest of the week. I highly recommend that you do a big batch of these, maybe 2 dozen eggs worth, so that you end up with a couple dozen muffins, so that'll get you through the whole week. Everybody will be happy and healthy and start off well. Again, thanks so much for joining me this live Paleo or Facebook broadcast for Paleo Hacks and Pete's Paleo. You can get Paleo Eats, our cookbook, Real Food, Real Simple. Just check out the link in the comment section below. You can get this book now for just the cost of shipping alone. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.